Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Hello and welcome to New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez, and some of you are going to have some major breakthroughs today. I can just feel it. And here to help you to get rid of those struggles that you're going through, we've got licensed marriage and family therapist, Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris. How you doing, Jacqui?
Doing well.
And clinical psychologist, Dr. Alice Benton's here too. How are you, Alice?
Hello. Having a great morning with you two so far.
Yeah, we are having a good time. And Jacqui, what's on your mind to start us off today?
I am reading a new book, and so I always like to share what I'm reading about. And the book is called A New Kind of Diversity. And when we think about diversity, and I've taught diversity, we generally come at it from a perspective of race and ethnicity. But I think of diversity as the ways in which we are different. And so we have diverse gifts in the kingdom. You know, the Bible talks about how God's made us all uniquely different and given us each different gifts, and so that we can take care of the body. Well, we also have different interests, and those are, some subcultures. But a big one is our cultural differences and our generations, right? Generationally, we are very different. The silent generation, or the builder generation, as some would call it, is very different than the boomer generation, which is different than the Gen Xers, different than the millennials, the Gen Y, Gen Z, and now the Alpha generation. And I think because we don't like difference and diversity, we are uncomfortable with it. We don't pay attention to how important this particular diversity context is. It is important that we understand and we try to lean in to each other, because we're missing out on some things. There are some things that the Gen Zers can help me with that I just can't see because I'm not a Gen Zer. I don't think about things the way that they do. But this time, it's really going to be moved forward by the younger generation. Mm-hmm. And they need some things from us, from the older generations. But they're not going to get them because we're clashing so much. We're there's just too much of young people not speaking to their parents and their parents not speaking to them. Too much of this generation is canceling that generation. And that is hurting us. The devil is winning. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy, and we're doing his work for him. And so I just want to put that out there and put it on everyone's minds. We owe it to each other to be reconciliation minded. We serve a God of reconciliation. And we need to, I think, as the older generation, Titus tells the older generation to teach and train up the younger generation. I think we owe it to ourselves and to our future and to our children and grandchildren to find a way to bridge these broken bridges, these huge gaps that are just really getting more and more contentious.
Yeah. Alice?
We can really dig our heels in easily to say, well, I'll apologize when you do. I'm waiting. I'm not going to be the first one to bring this up. You're the one that owes me an apology. And although there's probably truth to that at times, it exacerbates the distance, and it makes it so much more likely that there'll be deterioration and even an ending of the relationship. So humble pie never tastes very good, but it produces righteousness and healing. It is worth it.
It is worth it.
Good conversation to start us off today on New Life Live. Thank you so much for listening today and watching as well. We're going to go to the phones in just a moment. We've got Lisa there and Ellen and a few more as well. So we can't wait to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us, by the way, financially. We are in the middle of a matching gift. You can text the word match to 28950 or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or visit newlife.com. 3 ways there that you can take advantage of this matching gift that's going on, up to $500,000, and we are so close. I can almost smell it. We're going to get there thanks to your help here on New Life Live, and we'll be right back.
We've been married 33 years. We attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Even though we've read books, or attended a few other marriage weekends, this was certainly different and a lot more intensive than initially that we thought.
When you come to intimacy in marriage, you're going to be immersed into a 3-day process.
Was not really sure exactly what to expect, but the idea of learning to really understand intimacy was intriguing. We had been in the same patterns of struggle over and over again.
If you've thought, I don't think we can ever change, we're just in this rut and we can't get out, the Intimacy in Marriage Workshop can help you get out of the rut.
The Intimacy in Marriage Weekend is July 25th to the 27th in Washington, D.C. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50. 1-800-639-5433.
I would highly recommend it.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Coming up today at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're doing a Facebook Live event on our Facebook, which studies show is the best place to do a Facebook Live. Laura Mangan McDonald will be sharing a presentation called Holy Hookups, Myths, Masks, and Marriage Wounds. Now, hookup culture is something Christians frown upon, but if you're not careful, your sex life as a married Christian couple can turn into a meaningless, joyless experience without a sacred bond. Don't let this happen to you. And if it is happening to you, let's make it right. Join Laura today at 3 p.m. CST. Register right now on the New Life Ministries Facebook page. And it's not too late to send us a question through Facebook that Laura might be able to answer. Now, if you're listening on a podcast and thinking, man, I missed it, and I really need to watch this. Well, we've got your back. It's going to be archived after the live event. So check that out on our Facebook page, and make sure you like us there on Facebook. Here is Lisa calling in from Meridian, Idaho, listening on KBXL. Hi there, Lisa. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hello.
How can we help you today?
I was calling in to I've been listening, and I wanted to make a couple comments on some of the callers. One of the gentlemen that called in with a 26-year-old adult living at home. As a mother of 4 and all adult children, I've had my share of the back and forth, especially with my eldest child. She became a drug addict and alcoholic, and decided at 18 she can tell us what she wanted to do and quit school and everything she decided to do. The anger that comes along with drug use, violent episodes, different things like that. I had to find myself being a Christian mom, and your child just decide to go the opposite direction and chase wrong things.
Yeah.
I've had to help her a lot, and the younger kids, being 5 years apart, all of them were all different. What the last caller said about different generations, or what they see in different, I guess that's the word, generation, being in different schools at different times,
Right.
One's out of high school, one's in junior high, one's in grade school, as they move up, they're all by themselves. So, but the thing of it is none of them, no generation is different. I do have to say, having 4 children, they all want to be loved the same. They want to be respected the same. Nobody wants to be lied to. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be mistreated, embarrassed, this, that, whatever. So all of them, you can work on the same kind of mutual grounds by they all want food, they all want money, they all want this. That's one true respect, and we all want to be treated that way. So it's hard because they all, want to say, oh, well, I would have done it this way different, because they want to fit their agenda of whatever they want.
Yeah.
Time.
Lisa,
what I did.
Lisa, I just want to say it's so helpful that you're letting other callers know who struggle with their adult children that you're not alone. And as a Christian mom who's done her best to raise 4 kids, you have one child who struggles with anger, violence, substance use. And you're pointing us to this inner core need that all human beings have, no matter how different the generations are. There is a desire to be loved and respected. Thank you for pointing that out. That's motivating for us parents.
Yep.
And all of us want to be loved the way that Christ loves us, forgiveness, this, that, whatever. And it's so hard because when you become intimately, something is very intimate in each child's life, and they're all the difference. And the reason why I wanted to say something was it's like being a search and rescue dog trainer and a person that knows the litter, being a breeder. The dogs come out in different ways. So the firstborn has a certain personality. The last one out is a different personality, but the best trained are the middle. And it's so hard because the middle children always see what the first kid did. So they're like, I'm going to try that. And then the last one out is, I get everything. I get treated a little bit more like the runt gets a little more food.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that, ladies? Jacqui?
I agree with that. Humans are similar, right? The oldest out is going to be the one that parents are learning on, and parents are different with their kids sometimes because they've learned, not that they love them differently or want to treat them differently, but we learn some things or we've had some experiences, and some things work with some kids and don't work with others. But ultimately, we all want love and affection and to be told the truth and not to be gaslit and put in dangerous situations.
Yep, it's all about setting those boundaries. Lisa, thank you for calling in today on New Life Live. And Mike in Dallas, you're the one who called in last Wednesday, and I think that's who Lisa was referring to when she was talking about a previous call. So thank you for calling in, Lisa. Ellen in Philadelphia, you've also got a follow-up from something you heard on Wednesday's program, or at least it sounds like it. Hi there, Ellen, listening on WFIL.
Yes, hi. I'm a clutterer also, and I think it's because I had a controlling mom, and also I was married and the relationship ended early, so I was financially responsible for my son, so a lot of times I had 3 jobs during the week and 1 or 2 on the weekend, so I think after my son's departure from college and marriage, I kind of spoiled myself because I did without for so many years, just trying to make sure there was food on the roof over our head and food on the table.
So you find yourself shopping and buying yourself little gifts to make yourself feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You certainly have earned it, working 3 jobs, being a single mom for part of the time, raising your son, and coming from a controlling parent, your mom. You deserve and have earned some treats and some rewards. Ellen, would you tell us, do you have good people around you who also reward you, so to speak, with their love, their affection, their company?
No, unfortunately, my son lives in Chicago. I only have one son, but I did raise some foster children, but they lost contact for many years now. But it's been several years since I've seen my family, my grandchildren and so forth. It started out with COVID, and it was political, and now it's just a phone call now and then.
Several years. That is a painfully long time. Ellen, as you notice that one way that you comfort yourself is through purchasing things, and you're somewhat isolated from people you've loved and cared for. What can we do for you? What's your question for us?
Well, I just want to start to unclutter, and what I've been to some of those classes, Clutters Anonymous and so forth, but everybody seems stuck. I mean, we go there. In the past, I haven't gone for a couple of years, but, developed friendships and so forth. But it seems like the majority of people didn't really get released from their clutter.
It is a very difficult problem to overcome, and it's almost always about what's underneath the clutter, emotionally speaking, in a person's life.
Yeah, I know.
You do know that. Of course, you paid good attention in those meetings, that you know it's a symptom. And often...
And I've been listening to you guys since the 80s, Mimic and Meyer, when you guys were on.
Thank you for listening to us for so long. As you went to those groups before, but it's been a little while now, are you ready to get back into help, even though you're uncertain if it will be effective?
I'm not sure if there's, I know the lady in charge passed away. I'm not sure if it's still active.
But would you be willing to see a therapist? Would you be willing to see a therapist that could maybe help you work through that? Or join, if there's a group maybe that's a focus, maybe it's not the same group where that lady ran it, but would you be interested in doing something new now?
Sure, yeah. Whatever gets me over the hump.
Love that.
You have courage to...
I mean, I'm very active with other people. I can, I'm very good. I'm about suggesting things and then carrying through, because most people have a great respect for me for my background and so forth. As I said, I've had many jobs, and some of them, were of great responsibility. So it's not just that I'm suggesting something. It's like something I experienced or I shared with someone and they had results.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, can I do this for myself? But I can't. That's why I'm reaching out.
Ellen, I think one of the most important discoveries we can make as adults is how to comfort ourselves in a healthy way and even in a holy way. And there's nothing wrong with making some purchases here or there, but it sounds like your house is filling up too much for your own taste. And that the ultimate comfort comes from two different sources. You probably know this, so this is just a reminder. It comes from God directly, but we usually best receive God's comfort through other people. So it's through God and through other people. And everybody comforts themselves in some form or another. We often turn to alcohol, digital escape, buying things, workaholism. These are all forms of comfort, but they're temporary and they only provide surface comfort. And so we still feel the chronic loneliness on the inside, or anxiety or depression on the inside. And so the help that we need, it usually involves improving relationship with God by allowing more people into our lives and letting them know about our struggles and our losses. If you're willing, as you said, to let us connect you with a therapist, a counselor from our network, it really stood out to me that you fostered multiple children, that you raised your own son as a single mom, and you don't have contact with any of them anymore. Ellen, the grief you must have, and probably feeling unappreciated, undervalued by these people you gave your life to for all those years. I hope you'll bring that up as a primary issue along with the cluttering, because I think they're closely connected.
Well, I think, too, that I had the best years. Unfortunately, his father came back in his life, and he's, rally around him. So I'm trying to accept. I have accepted the fact that I had him in the younger years. I molded him in a sense, but I guess it means a lot to him to have his father in his life. So as I've kind of stepped aside, even though I don't live in the area, but he's remarried, so they're a couple. I'm still single, so there's those choices that he made and why he made them, I guess.
Ellen, I hope you don't count yourself out. I understand resigning yourself to the fact and accepting it, and you have to do that for your own sanity. But I hope you don't give up on trying to keep some form of relationship with your son and your grandchildren, because you're a good woman. They need you. They need your good influence in their lives.
Jacqui?
I agree. If you can, you said that there is a call here and there. I would keep that going. It sounds like you have accepted and are fine with his relationship with his father. But do some work for yourself. Mm-hmm. Let us connect you with someone in your area that can do some therapy with you, and maybe send you a good book to help you out. I'm thinking Also, healing is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Healing is a choice. We'll send that out to you. Thank you for calling us today here on New Life Live. And hey, guys, personal question for you before we continue on the program with other phone calls. How is your sexual integrity? We've got a quiz that you can take on our website. We've, every man battles with things of this nature, and that's why we have books and podcasts and weekend intensives and, yes, even a quiz to see where you are. Visit newlife.com/EMB, as in Every Man's Battle, and see what areas you might need help in. Oh, and we have another Every Man's Battle intensive coming up. It is next month in Dallas. You can sign up by July 4th to get a discount. Again, all the details at newlife.com/EMB. More phone calls coming up. We've got Vicky and Cheryl and so many others that are calling in today on New Life Live. Thank you so much for listening to us and watching us and for supporting us financially and prayerfully. Make sure to keep our listeners and our callers in your prayers as well as they call in and share their struggles and griefs. Write them down on your prayer list and then pray for them as you think about them. We'll be back on New Life Live.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Dallas, Texas, July 18th through the 20th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
And let's go back to the phones. Here is Cheryl calling from Bloomington, Illinois, and watching us on YouTube. Hi there, Cheryl. Welcome to New Life Live.
Why, thank you very much. Thank you for taking my call, and I direly need expert advice, so I do appreciate you taking this call.
Well, guess what? We've got Dr. Alice Benton and Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris. They can definitely provide the expert advice for you. What is it that you want to know?
I have a transgender granddaughter, and I miss her, and I want a relationship with her, and I don't know how to go about doing that. And I want to know how I can help her.
You said she's 27?
She is.
Okay.
Cheryl, I can hear you tearing up.
Yeah.
This is painful. You're worried for your grandchild, I think. You want relationship. You're not sure how to go about it. Would you tell us what was relationship like with that grandchild before you found out she identifies as transgender?
Oh, my goodness. I was Golden Graham. She was Susie. She bought me a special electronic device since we don't live in the same city, and she can see me. And I said, well, I called her by name. I said, Rachel. I said, your grandpa is not photogenic. I said, I look the very same as I did last time you saw me. No. Golden Graham, I've got to see. It was great. We had differences, but it was never anything that went unsettled.
And how did the information come to you that she's transgender? Did she tell you herself?
She did. She did. She comes to visit us, and we had great times together. And she told me that she knew that I would not agree with it, that it would never stop her loving me, and it would never change our relationship.
And how did you and your husband respond?
Well, I just told her, I said, at that time, she was in her like 23, and I said, for all these years I've called you Rachel. I said, it's going to be hard for me to just turn around and change what I call you. I said, I'm going to do my best. But because I just thought I would call her honey, or I'd call her dear, or I would call her something that wouldn't offend her, because it was just too hard to call her a man's name.
And how did that work out for you? Cheryl, were you able to do that?
Well, it worked out until her partner came from Scotland, and they got married. And my granddaughter was most generous to her partner's family, and her partner simply took the wheel and took control. And so Rachel called me up one day, and she said, Grandma, I got to talk to her. I don't know, she said whatever. And I said, okay. I said, what's going on? And she said, we can't talk no more. I said, what? She said, we can't talk. And if you knew her, you would find out she's the opposite of me. She is not emotional. Well, she started crying. And so the other partner took the phone. You are not to call. You are not to write. You are not to contact her in any way, shape, or form. Well, she didn't say her. You're not to contact him in any way, shape, or form. As far as we're concerned, you know what I mean? There's no grandma. There's no relationship.
How shocking and so, so painful. How long ago did that happen?
It was just over a year and a half ago.
And has there been no contact since?
There has been contact since. My daughter saw her at a Irish festival. We're Irish, and saw her at an Irish festival, and they talked. Well, the partner would not even come close to my daughter and her husband and other sister, and that she did end up. Rachel talked to him, and she told my other granddaughter. She said, "If you ever want to get a hold of me," she said, "I still have so and so is my email." And so I wrote her, and the first time I wrote her, it was fine. She said, "We can't stay in contact," but she said, "I'm so glad you wrote." And so then I wrote again just this past Christmas, and I even called her the name that she wanted to be called, and never heard back.
Cheryl, there is so much that is out of your control here, and you must feel very powerless and very hopeless. And when we're in situations like that with limited power, this is what I advise. Your heart obviously needs to lament this confusing loss that seems to be being dictated by the partner but partially accepted by your grandchild. Exactly. And so, yes, I want to make sure that you have a place to talk about it outside the family circle, where you can get mad, sad, where you can be upset with God for what has taken place, because you need to emote. You need to be able to talk through and process through the shocking turn of events after being Golden Grahams, after having this dear, sweet relationship with your grandchild. And then I hope that you'll prepare yourself, praying, fasting for the day that your grandchild misses you and is willing to be open again. Because there have been openings in the past, I suspect there will be in the future. And the more serene you can get your heart, the better prepared you will be to be the kind of presence you want to be in her life if she does reopen the lines of communication. And you do that through the grief process.
Cheryl, stay on the phone. We've got to take a break, but we want to continue our conversation with you. We also want to send you a resource from the newlife.com store, so stay on hold. And Ophelia, we will go to you in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for calling in today. We are helping so many people today and all this week on New Life Live, and it's what we've been doing for 37 years. We want to do it for 3,700 more. So help us by making a financial contribution at newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We're in the middle of a matching gift right now, so please help.
I was stuck. I was so stuck. 27 years married. My husband addicted to pornography for the majority of our marriage. I was very isolated and didn't really know which way to turn.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 7th to the 9th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
You guys helped me figure out what was going on.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Ophelia, going to go to you. But first, one last piece of advice for Cheryl in Bloomington, Illinois, who's watching us on YouTube. Alice, what did you want to say to Cheryl?
I was thinking, Cheryl, about Luke 12:53, that Jesus warned us the gospel will cause division in families. And I don't know if that totally applies to your situation, but I would suspect that your beliefs and the way Rachel pointed out, Graham, I know you're going to disagree with this, the partner may not be able to accept people who disagree with their lifestyle. And so that may very well be why you're cut out, because of your stance of what you, of the gospel and of your faith. So I encourage that stance, even as painful as I know it to be. You might consider doing a wellness check for Rachel, especially if you suspect that she is being bullied or controlled or manipulated. The first one might not go anywhere, but pray and think about starting that sort of paper trail of having an authority figure go to their home to check on the state of being of your grandchild. Lastly, this is pretty far-fetched, but I'd have you consider contacting the partner. Now, I feel all sorts of suspicions and doubts about what this person is doing and dictating that your grandchild do. But I think it might be worth saying, I want relationship with both of you. Even though I have a different outlook on this, I still want relationship with you too. So if there's something that I did or that I said that caused this rift, I sure want to know about it. And is there any hope? Is there any way that we can rebuild a bond? I want to be in your lives. It's worth a shot, I think.
I like that suggestion. I think, unfortunately, the partner is judging grandma and judging her unfairly. And not because grandma is like, yeah, I can disagree and still have a relationship with you. Go figure. Imagine that, being able to be in relationship with somebody you disagree with. And so if she could get a call through, or even email, even emailing the granddaughter if you don't have contact with the granddaughter's new partner, maybe sending the email through through that email address and just saying, I care about you and I want a relationship with you both and I want to get to know you. Hopefully that could be helpful.
We're going to send you a copy of Doing Life with Your Adult Children. Thank you for calling in today, Cheryl. And now here is Ophelia in Baltimore, listening on Sirius XM channel 131. Hello, Ophelia. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hello, and thank you for taking my call.
You bet. What's going on? How can we help you?
So I have a question. I would like direction on how to get 11 children that I gave birth to counseling.
Okay.
Ophelia, have you talked to your children about your desire to do some therapy?
I have, and my sons are hesitant because of their father's belief about counseling. He see it as putting your business in the street. But I know that all 11 of them need it. My daughters, they are more willing because they have trust issues with men because of the way their father treated me. And it carries over into their relationships.
Yeah. It probably carries over into everybody's relationships. Do you have a therapist that you could schedule a family therapy session with and invite them all to come?
I don't.
Maybe we could help you with that, because I agree that they need therapy. It's unfortunate that someone is maybe clouding their judgment about it by saying that it's putting your stuff out in the street, which is, something that has kept us from getting the help we need for generations. It's one of those statements that keep people trapped in abusive relationships and keep people in homes where they're being battered, because we're going to isolate you and have you keep secrets, and so no one ever knows how much I'm hurting you. And so it's unfortunate that they have subscribed to that belief. All you can do is take care of yourself, make the appointment, invite them to come, you and your daughters go. Now, some family therapists won't see part of the family. They need every member to show up, and so you'll want to assess that before scheduling. But definitely schedule an appointment, and yes, they need therapy, but so do you. And so you start therapy. If your daughters want therapy, help them to get it. The question, though, is how do I get my children to go to therapy? One way is to pay for them to go to therapy. And if you can do that, if you can afford to help pay for it, that might go a long way towards encouraging them. Another way is to do therapy yourself and invite them into a session of yours, and so that they could see what therapy is like and hear about it. The old scripts that we have in our minds about not airing our dirty laundry, not telling people our business, just keeps us stuck. And it's a really good way for the people who harm us to protect themselves.
What are the age ranges of your children, Ophelia?
The ages are 40 to 23.
Okay.
Are your younger children more inclined to go to therapy than your older?
Yes, my 3 older daughters, my 5 sons are in the middle. So I have 3 older daughters, 5 sons in the middle, and 3 younger daughters. So the older daughters and the younger daughters are very open to getting counseling because they're damaged. I mean, they're hurting. And
it's hurt. They're hurting, and they can see how Dad impacted them. The sons might be having a harder time because there may be more. They may relate to Dad more, and they may be having some of Dad's ways show up in their own behavior, and that then also makes it hard for them to go and tell someone that they might not be the good guy if they are starting to repeat some of the patterns.
That's true.
Ophelia, are you willing to share with us the headline of what your husband did because of which you all need therapy?
So my husband and I was together 38 and a half years. before I filed for divorce. I stayed with him 19 and a half years before I left him. And when I left him, it was due to infidelity. And
so, Ophelia, I just want to clarify. Are you saying that you stayed with him 19 and a half years after you found out about the infidelity?
Yes.
Okay.
But 38 years total?
Yes.
Okay.
And so the main mistreatment is the infidelity. Was there also verbal or physical abuse?
It was, but my kids, after the second time that I went back to try to make it work and keep us together as a family, that's when the older kids witnessed the verbal and physical abuse.
Of course you wanted to try to keep your family together and wanted a good father in the home for them. How devastating that he did not repent. Did he ever come to any point of humility for what he had done to you?
No.
And so at this point, are you divorced, and is he with a different partner?
We are divorced, and I have no contact with him. My children, I encourage them to keep that relationship with their dad. So they interact with them, but I don't.
Do they all know about the infidelity?
They do. And because of the infidelity, my girls are just so angry, and they don't trust men. And my sons, because they remained to stand with their dad, 3 of them anyway, they say women want to use you, and all they want is your money. So they have a very negative connotation about women. And my daughters, they're just like, all men are dogs. It's just, and I tell them all men are not bad.
The family experience has cemented these awful beliefs inside of them that aren't true about everyone, but you're afraid where the beliefs will take your children. I want to add some suggestions to what Jacqui said. Ophelia, I learned that when there has been infidelity in a family, it's more likely to be passed on to the next generation, almost like alcoholism. There's a vulnerability for the children of a person who's been unfaithful to either repeat the infidelity or to become victims of infidelity in a relationship. And perhaps sharing that information with your children, that cycle, that generational cycle, is best broken by therapy, by counseling, to keep their future families and future children safe. I've got a little bit more to add after the break.
All right, Ophelia, stay where you are, and we'll continue this conversation with you today here on New Life Live. We also want to send you a resource from the newlife.com store. So thank you again for calling in, and if you're a first-time listener to this program and you're wondering, wow, this is really good advice that these people give on this program. Well, let me tell you about us. We are here 5 days a week here on this very radio station that you're listening to, as well as on YouTube, and we would love to help you as well.
Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Ophelia, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good. Alice?
So, Ophelia, in addition to pointing out what infidelity does generationally to a family, I would also address Dad's supposition, accusation that you're not supposed to put your business in the street, and that's what therapy does. There are such strong legal protections about confidentiality in therapy. You probably know that, Ophelia, but it seems like your children don't believe it. Okay, so when we have to start every new therapy treatment episode with what you say will be private except for these exceptions of high-risk situations, and under law, at the risk of losing our license, we have to keep things private. It's such a big deal. It's not at all putting your business in the street, but that sounds catchy, how he says it. And many of us do live by this belief that we're not supposed to air our dirty laundry in public. The same thing applies. So I did a video in our New Life video library. Is treatment just for crazy people? Because treatment does have a bad rap. It's for weak people. It's for those nutty people. It's not for the normal people. But Ophelia, I think you and I both know and believe it's for the broken people. And that's everybody. That's me. That's you. That's everybody. And so I want you to look up that video in our library. It's free. It's accessible. And is treatment just for crazy people? And I want you to share it with your children. And then one last thing. Sometimes when I'm working with a family and there's some members who are motivated and others who are resistant, I start with the motivated to try to kind of build the good reputation of therapy with the motivated people, hoping they'll spread the word. I even ask them to spread the word to the resistant people. Then sometimes I call the resistant people directly with the family's permission to say, hey, Ophelia's in treatment and she really wants to figure out how to better be the mom of this family and how to lead the family in the right direction. Would you give me feedback about what it's been like to be Ophelia's child? That kind of question can lower the defensiveness, lower the wall, and get uninterested family members interested.
Oh, I like that.
And I want to add to what you were saying about is treatment just for crazy people? Because I think that sometimes different cultures have these messages about therapy being for certain kinds of people. I grew up being told therapy is for white people. And that's just not true. Therapy is for all people. Anyone who needs help and is willing to get it should get therapy. But if you've got these mantras, then we continue to pass these ideas down, and they become truths when they're actually not truths. It's a construct somebody came up with. And again, it only protects the perpetrators. It only keeps their secrets and keeps the person being harmed, keeps them trapped.
I've got to repeat that. It only protects the perpetrators. Oh, that's a jarring and very true statement. Yeah.
So look for that video in the newlife.com video library. Again, it's called Is Treatment Just for Crazy People? And we also want to send you a copy of the book. What did we say?
How We Love.
That's right. How We Love. We're going to send you a copy of that, Ophelia. Thank you so much for calling in today to New Life Live. By the way, there are 3 ways that you can support us here at New Life Live. First off, pray for us. And like I said earlier, the callers who share their deepest, most personal struggles. Here's what someone recently told us. At my lowest of lows, I found New Life Live and heard the encouragement of all the loving hosts and the helpful therapy of a New Life therapist. Thank you for being there, for being a voice of help and healing to those who find themselves in difficult or seemingly impossible situations. You have made my life better. You are a beacon to those of us who need encouragement. Secondly, tell your friends about us, whether through social media or socially over coffee and donuts. Thirdly, financially. We can't do it without your financial support, and right now is the perfect time to do so because we are in the middle of a $500,000 matching gift. Your gift will be matched, so that's $1 million. Man, we can do a lot with $1 million. And there are 3 ways for you to give. 1-800-NEW-LIFE, newlife.com, or text the word match to 28950. And there are multiple ways that you can get your questions to us, not just calling us here on the radio program, though that is our favorite way because we get to converse with you, and that's always great. But you can also leave us a voicemail, or you can send us an email. And directions on how to do that are on newlife.com/radio. Here's a question. It's an email that was sent in from Josh in Illinois. Josh asks, how can I better help myself grow in emotional maturity? I recently ended a relationship, and I realize now I was dealing with a lot of emotional immaturity. I don't currently deal with emotional outbursts or eruptions of anger, but I have become more aware of internal reactions, especially if I imagine fake conversations between me and some other people I may know. I've also been trying to be more curious about my emotions and things I'm feeling, but I'm not always able to figure out where the random sadness or anger comes from. I also admit I am jealous of my friends who seem to not struggle with this, especially now as a recently single man. What do you guys say to Josh in Illinois?
Therapy, Josh. Let us help you find a therapist.
Yeah.
That fake conversations in his mind jumped out at me. I think he said something important there. Especially if I rehearse these fake conversations, it makes it hard for you to be with other people. Then you begin to compare yourself against other people. You begin to make up in your mind the story that they must be telling about you, or the things that they would say. If you said this, they were going to say that. And then we end up not having a conversation with the person at all, or our conversation is far more contentious than it needs to be. And so I would work with a therapist to help him talk some of those things out. When people come in and they tell me what someone else was thinking, I usually will ask, well, did you ask them if that's what they were thinking? They're like, no, but I know them. I know how they think. I'm like, can you tell what I'm thinking right now?
It's like we all think we're mind readers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have a no mind reading rule in my practice. So I will always say we don't read minds. We have to use more words.
Yeah.
And so that he's already on to a lot of what his challenge is. He's named them. Like, how do I become more emotionally mature? Well, by asking to become more emotionally mature, the fact that you even have an awareness that you need to do that is you starting to become more emotionally mature. Now, read some books, talk to a therapist, join some groups, find other people that are wanting to do good work on their own emotional healing.
Alice?
Josh, I'm also really proud of you for asking that question. I didn't even know to ask that question until I was postgraduate school, already providing therapy to other people, but not yet asking it about myself. And it wasn't until the pain of my anxiety became too great to bear that I finally realized, oh, I need help too, apparently. So you're ahead of me in the game here. I think of Proverbs 25, which tells us that the heart is deep waters and it takes a person of understanding to draw it out. And I think that applies, Josh, where you say, I don't really know why I feel the way I do sometimes. That's true for all of us, but few of us have the humility to admit it. God seemed to design us to not be able to scratch the middle of our own back and to not be able to figure out our own thoughts and feelings without the help of another person, because he wants us to be in community. But we're so afraid and ashamed and upset and hurt, and so we're resistant to community. But as Jacqui is pointing out, community is the answer. So as you said, you're already trying to get curious about your emotions. That's key. And I want you to be curious about, why do I feel this way now? But what about my history might also be enhancing the way that I'm feeling? Because there's almost always historical roots when we have a strong emotional reaction that seems stronger than the present situation calls for. So your curiosity relationship with God and relationship with other people will be what will help you mature emotionally.
And no more fake conversations. And the fact that goes for all of you listening right now. Call us. We're going to be here again on Monday, and we can't wait to hear from you then. And thank you so much for supporting us financially and for praying for us as well. And our matching grant, thank you to everyone who has already given. And I want to thank the people who are making the matching grant possible as well. Thank you for your generosity. We're out of time today. We'll see you at church on Sunday, and then we'll be back here on Monday on New Life Live.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.